Hey, what's happening? B March Boxing back at it once again with another boxing video. So, Errol Spence, man, obviously we know he was in a car accident last year in October. Hasn't been in the ring ever since. The accident looked very severe, and thank goodness, and we thank God that Errol Spence is still alive. To be honest, you know what I mean? Now Errol Spence has had 6 months from the date of October to reflect on what happened that night, in downtown Dallas, you know what I'm saying, in the wee hours of the AM. You know what I mean? Errol Spence, of course, is a unified champion in the welterweight division. And, he was speaking to Ray Flores from the PBC um, on Instagram. And he basically was talking about, his spiritual awakening, basically, and how how the car accident was a wake up call from God, you know what I mean, and how he was way too comfortable in life. You check it. So I'll read you some quotes from what the man said, you know what I mean, in the interview with the man Ray Flores from PBC. He said, quote, I felt like my car accident was the wake up call from God telling me to really focus and, bite down and refocus on what's going on. And I feel like I wasn't as focused as I am right now. It's kind of like from the Kell Brook fight or before that, like how focused I am now. I feel like I'm really going to try to put all into all into it because I've got a lot of stuff to prove people wrong. It's a lot of things that people can be saying on YouTube, or is he still gonna be the same? Can he fight the same? Is his reflexes still gonna be the same? So I've still got to prove. I've still got a lot to prove in the ring and to prove to other people that I'm still the same Errol Spence. End quote. So you see, the man is having a kind of spiritual awakening. You know what I mean? And unfortunately, it had to take almost his life slipping out of his hands for him to realize that he is a very privileged person on planet Earth. Able to ride around in Ferraris, a millionaire, probably a few times over, a guy who's a unified champion, an up and coming star in boxing, a guy who's had a couple back to back pay-per-views, you know what I mean? Not really so much a guy who has a lot of personality like Bud Crawford, but he's in a better position than Bud Crawford as of right now. As of being a unified champion, having back-to-back successful pay-per-views, you know what I mean, and maybe he took things for granted, you know what I mean. It's obvious because he's basically reflecting on his transgressions he made, you know what I mean, and he's talking about he has a lot to prove. You check it, and he talked about how he wants to be focused like before the Kell Brook fight, like everything before the Kell Brook fight. So to him, the way he's talking, like ever since he became a world champion, he started slipping on his pimping. You know what I mean? Errol Spence, he suffered severe cuts on the face. Probably, probably lost his whole grill. You know what I mean? Because when he first did that initial interview on PBC, that one particular fight night, he just didn't sound the same, didn't even look the same. His facial physical features doesn't look like the same old Errol Spence, you know what I mean? When he was in that car accident, as the car flipped numerous times, you know what I mean? One car accident, nobody else was involved except him. And, the man was drinking and driving, you know what I mean? He was intoxicated, you know what I'm saying? And, he's been charged by the police in DeSoto, Texas, you know what I mean, for a DWI, driving while intoxicated. And Spence wasn't even wearing a seatbelt, you know what I mean, when he was ejected from the car. And that's actually one thing I want to mention. It's crazy because really and truly, seatbelts save lives. But in Errol Spence's situation, if that man had a seatbelt, he would have got mangled up. He would have got mangled up like that a Ferrari. You know what I mean? He probably might have been in bits and pieces, like how you throw cans. Yeah, they don't got him right. When I lived back in Boston, man, we used to collect as kids for money. And I mean, we used to collect cans and take them to the supermarket, and you put them in the in the recycle machine and you get money back for cans and bottles, you know what I mean? And how the machine just mangles up the like cans, let's say soda cans or I don't know, like let's say Goya bean cans or whatever kind of cans, tomato sauce cans. How the machine did the recycle machine mangles up those cans. That's exactly what would have happened to the man Errol Spence if he still had on a seatbelt. So he's lucky, really and truly, that he ain't put on a seatbelt. So he got ejected from the vehicle because, man, if you see that crash and how that vehicle looked, that Ferrari, it looked like when you step on an empty soda can and just crush it up. You know what I mean? That's exactly how that vehicle looked. And man, if Errol Spence was in that particular vehicle, he knows better than anybody else. He probably wouldn't be around till this day. You know what I mean? So, Errol Spence is a guy who was a 2012 Olympian. You know what I mean? And the accident happened about a week and a half after he beat Sean Porter in a split decision for 12 round split decision for the unification fight in Los Angeles. You know what I mean? And Errol Spence, he released to Ray Flores that the lack of discipline between bouts contributed to him reaching 190 pounds. You know what I mean? 43 pounds over his welterweight limit. So the man definitely getting up to 190 pounds. You know what I mean? It sounded like Ricky Hatton. Ricky Hatton used to balloon up in weight when he's not fighting, but so did Tim Bradley. You know what I mean? But Tim Bradley was when he gets back into training, he gets on a vegan diet, and he was a focused fighter. You know what I mean? At least Tim Bradley, when he's gaining weight, it's mostly probably because his wife is cooking some some Mexican meals. You know what I mean? He's eating big at home. He has a Mexican wife. You check it, so it's not because of drinking and partying and staying out all night. That wasn't what was Tim Bradley's vice. His vice was probably eating that good Mexican home cooked meals that his wife is cooking. Errol Spence, on the other hand, his vice is that bottle. You know, I'll read you some more quotes from Errol Spence. He said, "Quote: Even before the Sean Porter fight, I was blowing up to like. Hold on, read that again. Even before quote, even before the Sean Porter fight, I was blown up to like." Even before the Sean Porter fight, I was blown up to like Sean Porter in the Mikey Garcia fight. Matter of fact, the Mikey Garcia fight, the day of the weigh-ins, I had to sit in a sauna for like 2 hours. I didn't sweat. I had a sauna bag on and everything, and I didn't sweat until like probably an hour before, after being in the sauna, and I didn't sweat at all. Even before the Sean Porter fight, I had blown up to like 190 or something like that, and then had to lose it all and then killing myself to make weight. Just getting too comfortable. Getting too comfortable, getting way too comfortable, eating a lot. I think Marvin Hagler was the one that said it's hard to get up, when you're sleeping in silk sheets. End quote. So looks like the man Errol Spence is taking full acceptability and responsibility for his transgressions when he's out the ring, drinking and overeating. You know what I'm saying? I knew this guy had a drinking problem when I've seen him at PBC events, ringside, looking kind of bent. You know what I'm saying? He got that kind of look in his eyes, in his face, like he been guzzling. I thought that's a bad look for professional fighters. You know what I mean? Professional fighters, look, guys drink. Ray Leonard and got these type of guys. They drank alcohol, but in public, these guys were not belligerent drunks. You know what I'm saying? Just like the man Errol Spence. There's a video out here of Errol Spence and Adrian Broner on the podium at a press conference, a post-fight conference. I can't remember who was fighting. And these guys are acting a fool. and the Charlos too. These guys were drunk, just acting drunk, not acting like professional athletes. So the man Errol Spence got his wake up call. He said it there. He guy looks like he's taking full acceptability and responsibility for his um, drinking issues and probably not, staying in shape when he's not fighting. You know what I mean? And he says it's a wake up call from God. So from here on out, you know, he got to show me better than he can tell me. You know what I mean? You got to prove you're about your, you know what I'm saying? You're about what you're really talking about. You know what I mean? If it's in a spiritual, if it's an awakening from God and you were too comfortable and you're admitting that, that's a great step in the direction of owning your imperfections, you know what I mean? Owning and knowing that, you got stuff to work on, you know what I mean? And I think if he does work on these things, puts the bottle down, stays in shape, the sky's the limit for the man Errol Spence. But then again, he has to show us better than he can tell us. Because at the end of the day, a lot of people even s- skeptical on what he'll look like coming into the ring in his first fight. The man hasn't fought since September. He's talking about he don't want no tune-up fight. He wants to fight Danny Garcia immediately. I've said it in a previous video. Danny Garcia, if anytime he should he can be able to beat Errol Spence, now is the time. You know what I mean? Danny Garcia got to take full advantage of this guy. You know what I'm saying? I've seen guys like Vinny Paz. I can't even remember how long it was after Vinny Paz's horrific accident, but I know he was back in the ring in less than a year. You know what I'm saying? And the man became a world champion, the first man to ever become a world champion at junior middleweight after being only a champion at lightweight. You know what I'm saying? So Vinny Paz was a champion at 135, nothing at 140, nothing at 147, and a champion 154. The first man to do that. You know what I'm saying? So feather in the man Vinny Paz's cap. He came back uh, from that horrific accident to become a world champion. I believe. Look, Willie Pep. He came back, I think, 6 months after coming out of a airplane accident. You know what I'm saying? An airplane crashed. The man survived. I don't know how. And he came back within 6 months and was fighting. You know what I mean? So, Errol Spence, man, the sky's the limit and the world is yours if you can get yourself in shape. But I'm only saying that just from a positive standpoint, from what he's saying, you know what I mean? Taking accountability for his transgressions and trying to right his wrongs. Then, in life, when things are bad, things can only get better if you put an effort in. You know what I mean? You might have $0 today. You might be broke, assed out. You go outside, you try to find a way to make some money. You know what I'm saying? Whatever it is you got to do. You know what I mean? Whether it's collecting cans and going taking them to the supermarket and put them in the recycle machine to get some, things gonna be better. Now you probably have $2 from or however many coins you collected. Cans. Now you have more money than you were when you had $0 because you put in some effort. So in life, people always go through stuff, you know what I mean? You might be at the lowest point in your time, or things are getting bad, or things are bad. Things can only get better if you put in the work and make an effort, you know what I mean? If you just sit there and complain about it and cry about it, things will remain stagnant and things will even get worse. So at least the man, Errol Spence, got the right foot in the right direction. But now with his words, it's almost like an intervention, you know what I mean, for a person who's, has a substance abuse problem. Yeah, you could talk all that stuff like you want to change your life, you want to clean up your life, you're going to do better. That's great. Your family's here to support you. And we, as boxing fans, should be able to support a guy like Errol Spence. You know what I'm saying? Look, there's going to be people who don't like the guy, and they already do, you know what I mean, and they have their own reasons, and it's mostly because he fights for the PBC, nothing else. You know what I'm saying? You check it in. That's an agenda here on YouTube. People in real life don't talk that stupid shit. On YouTube, we have a million and one morons who got an opinion out here. So Errol Spence, as from boxing fans, if you're a true boxing fan, you want to see the guy do the right thing and be better in his life as a family man, as a boxing man, and take his foot in the right direction. Now, just like I said, a person in intervention, the family, we're gonna show you support, but now you got to put in the effort. You got to put in the work. You got to show us better than you can tell us. You know what I mean? And that goes the same for the man Errol Spence. What the deal, E. Woodson? Salute, my G. How you feeling, man? Shot Town in the house. You heard? Big up to E. Woodson. He says, salute, my brother. Love and much respect to you, family. Same to you, man. And I hope all is well with you out of the shot. And I hope you and your family are doing well, you know what I mean? During these hard times we're going through, you know what I'm saying? It's just like this COVID-19, you know what I mean? Things are bad for almost everybody. 10 million Americans have filed for unemployment, you know what I mean? 10 million, you know what I'm saying? Look, man, if the American government just sits on their ass and doesn't help the people, and look, man, things can only get worse, you know what I mean? But if we all put an effort in and not just necessarily wait for the government, and we as people, citizens, or just inhabitants here in the United States and planet Earth, things can only get better, you know what I mean? But we just got to put an effort, and the effort is practicing social distancing, not going out if you don't have to, staying home, etc. Everybody knows what they got to do, you know what I mean? So, Errol Spence, we wish him the best, you know what I mean? I hope, look, man, these are positive things he's saying. He's taking full accountability for his transgressions, and that's all you can ask from any man, because nobody's out here is perfect, you know what I'm saying? And time will tell. We'll see what's really good with the man. Um, Errol Spence. E. Woodson's in the chat says, salute to you for keeping it real. I appreciate your real talk content. Thanks, man. Appreciate that too, man. I appreciate the kind words, you know what I mean? Be Marsh Boxing, I ain't got no agenda over here, you know what I mean? You check it out. I don't cater to no fan base, you know what I'm saying? I just talk boxing. A lot of people have sold their soul out here on these YouTube streets, you know what I mean? It's crazy. Enough people I used to respect too, you know what I mean? And it's sad, but when man looking at him side eye, it ain't out of nowhere, you know what I mean? Fellas, you know, people out here selling their souls for particular fan bases, you know what I mean? That these fan bases have even got them in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Because, they not holding people accountable for the information they putting out there, you know what I mean? So at the end of the day, big up to E. Woodson. He says, salute B. Marsh. I'm just keeping it 100. I appreciate that, man. I keep it 100 with you too, G. You know what I mean? You've been loyal and supporting the channel ever since, you know what I mean? And I appreciate that, you know. You know what I'm saying? I've seen you all around on these YouTube streets, you know what I mean? And showing enough channel support. And, you know, we as uploaders, we come here to talk boxing, and I appreciate everybody who comes through with a clean heart, you know what I mean? Because I come talk boxing with a clean heart, no agenda, no nothing, you know what I mean? I got some cornballs who do come in my comment section, and, sometimes they want to, they just want to talk stupid stuff. They want attention from B Marsh, you know what I mean? But I only give those attention who come with positive vibes. If you come disrespectful, though, if you come disrespectful, you will get my attention. And I'm going to flame your ass up, straight up and down, you know what I mean? No regrets, no remorse, you know what I'm saying? But if you come trying to troll, trying to get my attention, like somebody did yesterday, and, it's all good, you know what I mean? No hard feelings, you know what I'm saying? You just just showing your true colors, you know what I mean? And look, man, E. Woodson, man always come with positive vibes, you know what I'm saying? He has a pattern. His pattern is he loves boxing, and he's just here to talk boxing, and he ain't out here, you know what I'm saying, coming to bash on people's channels and trying to give backhanded compliments. A lot of people try to do that, you know what I mean? And I peep people's pattern, and when I'm fed up and I really caught you red-handed, I'm gonna flame you up and I'm gonna tell you about yourself. That's just what I do, you heard? GG, what's up? GG's in the chat. He says, salute to B Marsh and D Woodson. Salute to you as well, GG. Thanks for coming through. And I'm about to seal up this video, you know what I mean? Let me know in the comment section what you think about Errol Spence kind of spiritual awakening, you know what I mean? And realizing that he was a little too comfortable. I mean, look, I've seen videos of Errol Spence the night of before he got into his Ferrari partying. Them fellas was bent, man. Look, you could get banned if you want to. I personally wouldn't advise it for a professional athlete to be getting bent like that, especially in public the way he was, acting like he's a rapper out here on stage, you know what I mean? That man was not in no condition to be driving no vehicle. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't in no condition to be driving no vehicle. So the people around him, his entourage, his people, shame on them as well. Yes, Errol Spence is the champ, but you can drive that man's vehicle. Tell that man, dogs, we'll get you a Uber, dogs. You ain't fit to drive. Yeah, I know you want to stunt look good in the Ferrari, but ain't nobody even gonna see you. It's 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning. Just get home, come back the next day, pick up your vehicle, or I'll drive you home. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, what the deal, your boy? Oh, sup, B Marsh. Salute, my G. GG's in the chat. Or I'm sorry, E Woodson says they changed my hours at work, so I got off at 6 a.m. this morning. I'm glad I caught your chat, my brother B Marsh. Thanks a lot, man. You know what I mean? Morning time, you know. That's when I try to knock out some videos. You know what I mean? You check it. GG says I enjoyed your Costa Zoo de la Hoya video many years ago. Thanks, man. That was a long time ago. That was a long time ago. You know what I mean? And I enjoy that video as well. You know what I mean? I'm gonna keep it tall with y'all. Sometimes I listen to my own boxing videos, man. Sometimes when there ain't much boxing content going on YouTube, you know what I'm saying? Because man, I don't listen to too much people's YouTube boxing videos like I used to. You know what I mean? You check it. A lot of people, man, they show their true colors. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm skeptical about a person, man, I can't really take their word. You know what I mean? I can't really, I can't really, I can't trust you no more when you have an agenda. Look, man, that's like somebody who hates on. Oh, okay. Let me say this. Somebody who loves Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? In the first fight versus Deontay Wilder, they tried to say, "Oh, Tyson Fury won every single round except the 2 rounds that he got knocked down." That's what they say, and they have a pattern of just hugging Tyson Fury nuts and just bigging him up for everything, and he can do no wrong. When they make a post-fight review video for a fight that's a close, controversial fight, I don't even gotta listen to it, man, because I already know where you stand. You're biased. You know what I'm saying? You're not impartial or objective. You know what I mean? You check it, or somebody I don't know who hates Wilder. What's the point of listening to any video that they do about Deontay Wilder? What's the point? You know what I'm saying? You're not objective. You're not impartial. You're just out there spewing hate. Your comment section being cheerleaders and pom poms. Yeah, yeah, flame up Wilder. Wilder's head, put it on the stake. Yeah, crucify him. Keep going. Yeah, and some of these people have racist agendas behind them. You know what I'm saying? But they come into your comment section bigging you up like a token Negro. I ain't never been nobody's token Negro. And somebody tried to play me on that dumb shit, and I flamed their ass up. You heard? You know what I'm saying? And I told him about himself. And Slim been in his feelings ever since, and that's what I'ma do, man. I ain't nobody's token Negro. You ain't gonna come and give me no backhanded compliments and try to make it look like I'm not like the other black guys. Fuck out of here, man. Be Marsh, man. I'm black as they come, you heard? You know what I'm saying? And I support every fighter from everywhere on the planet. But when I do support black fighters, don't come in your feelings asking me why I do that. Because when you MFs out there supporting your Mexican fighters, Ukrainian fighters, whatever, I have no problem with that. Do what you do, you know what I mean? Everybody's entitled to root for whomever they want to, you heard? E. Woodson says to DG, he's saluting them. He says, salute and one love to all y'all brothers. Big up your boys all saluting everybody, you know what I mean? So yeah, man, B Marsh Boxing about to seal the deal on this video. Let me know what you think about Errol Spence. and him basically, getting a spiritual awakening, man. It's time to change your ways. It's time to change your ways. You're 30 already. You're basically in the second half of your career. You still have more work to do. He's a talent, great body puncher, relentless pressure fighter who will probably beat your favorite welterweight. As far as Bud Crawford and Errol Spence, I want to see the fight sooner than later. But at the end of the day, you ain't gonna pit me against both guys. I'm a fan of both, you know what I'm saying? Who do I favor to win that fight? Well, you'll just have to wait until they make that fight and I'll make a breakdown and prediction. You heard B Marsh Boxing. Salute to your boy O.E. Woodson. GG, big up stay buddy. Thanks for the support. Thanks for coming through. And I'm gonna catch y'all on the next one. I'm gone. Peace.